peace mission veteran and mayor of Smilno, Vladimir Baran. Good to have you on the program with us. Vladimir, we're seeing a growing rift between some EU states like Spain and Italy with the United States amid this U.S.-triggered escalation in the Middle East. What are your thoughts on that? Is this a temporary blip in relations, or does this show a more fundamental transatlantic break?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I think it's starting. The people are starting to open their eyes. In the beginning, it was Irish president, I think, and some members of the parliament that were opposing the genocide in Gaza, and I think a mayor of Genoa as well. And now it's this Italian prime minister and Spanish prime minister. So I think it's people are starting to realize what the United States of America with the Israelis are doing in the Middle East, and not only there, in all over the world. Also, we can't forget the proxy war in Ukraine is the same thing. So people are starting to realize who is bad and who is good in the world.
The Croatian president described the EU leaders as, quote, a pack of house cats. I'm a cat owner, so I can imagine the chaos that was implying. It is quite a comparison. Do you agree with that thought?
Yes, I fully agree with him. It also happened in the First World War. You know, Europeans, they are stronger, but when it comes to real thing, we just hide under beds, and we have different opinions, we have different values. It cannot work like that. Like, for example, in Germany, the chancellor, ex-BlackRock members, he's got Germany have their needs, what they like to do, and the same with France, with Macron, and Great Britain the same. So all the nations are different, and when it comes to real thing, they will just disperse.
The Italian prime minister condemned the massacre of Iranian schoolgirls. Considering the friendly times between Meloni and Trump, are you surprised at how outspoken she's been? Because Trump historically does turn quickly and viciously on people who slight him in even the most modest way.
I'm surprised with her because Trump considers her a great friend, the same like Premier Orban. But it's too much what those atrocities, what the Israelis with the Americans are doing with these 170 kids in the school, which was, Trump says, oh, it was Tomahawk, but we sell Tomahawks to many countries. The stupidity of his has no limits. So it's good that Miss Meloni opened her eyes, and they just see the situation as it is, and it's really bad. And United States of America with Israel can get away with all these atrocities and killing now in Iran. It just cannot go like that forever.
The EU's Kaja Kallas announced sanctions against Iran, but states like Spain and Italy have been much more measured in their response to the conflict. Why do you think there's such division with the EU? Do we see any unity left at all within the bloc?
Yeah, that's what I say. You know, those little countries like Estonia, Latvia, and the other country, and Kallas is from there, and her predecessors with Nazi background. So they represent what was before or during the Second World War. They just continue with the policy. So that Kallas, I'm sorry to say, because just this week was the International Day of Women. But her being that idiot and you know, saying such things that Israel and America started this war, like those wars on Iraq and Libya and Syria. 1 hour wouldn't be enough to name all those atrocities they did with America all over the world. And she blames the Iranian because they protect and they retaliate. But those who started the war, Israel and America, they are fine. So she just serves her masters in New York and in this European Union. She's well paid with all those progressive members of European Parliament. So she says what she's been told to say.
Yeah, to your point there, it's interesting that she would announce sanctions against Iran, but not the U.S. and Israel, which are the ones who are responsible for this violence. Vladimir, how do you think Europe is going to act going forward in terms of the violence in the Middle East?
I think, you know, those countries, they will silence the small countries. They don't give on TV what your TV does, but the people can see on the media like YouTube what's right and who is the one to blame. But in mass media, the situation hasn't changed much, and they have the influence, because all the channels in the United States are owned by this Israeli lobby. And those private TVs in Slovakia, in Czech Republic, in all European countries are owned by the same barons. So most of the people won't open their eyes. Even I see, a little light at the end of the tunnel with these two guys, Meloni and Prime Minister of Spain. That it starts slowly, but I don't know to say how many people have to die till the majority of people open their eyes to the real situation as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm wondering what this means for the future of the EU. Do you believe the bloc will be able to find a democratic unified voice amid the current tensions among its member states?
I think that NATO will break first, as I listened to George Galloway and Colonel Douglas Macgregor, that NATO is on the brink of collapse because it cannot go like that forever. It's a half-terrorist organization which supports Israeli and American cause. And I think the European Union is the second on the brink, and even taking this beggar green. We have Zelensky, we call it Zeleny, red, which blackmail Slovakia and Hungary with that oil and gas. So I can't imagine the European Union continue like that for too many years into the future.
Yeah, we're going to leave it there. Vladimir Baran, UN Peace Mission veteran, and Smilno Mayor, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice evening.